Hey guys, Robbie Falk here from On 3 and Starkville Daily News, reporting here from the Hump as Mississippi State picks up a 68-55 win over Vanderbilt. Wasn't the prettiest game for the Bulldogs, but you'll take any win you could get in SEC play at this point. State really struggled a little bit with the consistency on the offensive side of the ball. This could have been much worse than it was, but defensively I thought we saw Mississippi State return back to what they kind of hang their hat on. They haven't really been that in the first part of the SEC schedule defensively. Gave up 80 plus against Alabama, Kentucky, 72 I think against Tennessee. So, and in fairness, those are three of the better offenses in the league. But that's not the type of defense that Chris Jans and company wanted to play. They played that defense today. Now Vanderbilt's a really bad team, but at the same time, I thought Mississippi State was kind of clamped down on them. Really good perimeter defense. Vanderbilt 5 of 22 from three-point range in this one. The Bulldogs win the rebounding total 45-33. And I thought Tolu Smith was outstanding in the post. Now, missed a couple of bunnies down there, missed a few free throws, but here's what I really liked about Tolu. He got into a stretch there early where he was missing those free throws. I think he hit 5 out of his last 6. He finished 7 of 13 from the line. Still needs to be better there, but, 25 points, 11 rebounds. You're talking about a guy that could have gotten easily 30 points in this game. He's playing at an all-SEC level, playing at a level in the last week that has been special. Had 26, I think, or 20, it was in the 20s against Kentucky, a very good basketball team. This is a guy, by the end of the year, he's going to be in the conversation for SEC Player of the Year if he keeps this up. And if he's more consistent on the free throw line, with as often as he gets there, you're talking about another 10-plus points from the line if he can finish. But I thought he was very good. I thought we saw some good minutes from Jimmy Bell in the first half, 4 points and 7 rebounds basically in the first half, was a +5. How about a +23 for DJ Jeffries? He not a guy that takes a lot of the headlines as far as the stats are concerned, but consistently one of State's top-rated players when he's on the floor. +23, he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 of 7 shooting. I thought was very good in a game that State wasn't great as far as their guards are concerned. Deshaun Davis really struggled in this game, had no points, 0 of 2 shooting, no rebounds, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 assist. So didn't get a ton from Rams. And then, Shaquille Moore struggled from the field, 1 for 7. But I thought he was really active on the defensive end. He had 6 points, 4 rebounds in the game for him, a couple of assists. I thought he gave you some really good minutes. And Josh Hubbard, it was good to see him knock down a couple of three-pointers in this game. Trey Fort gave you a couple of three-pointers as well. So you got 17 points from those two. And when you have right now a situation where Andrew Taylor doesn't appear like he's going to return, you need those guys like Josh Hubbard and Trey Fort to knock down 2 to 4 three-pointers between them in ball games to kind of keep you going. 6 of 21 for 3, so not great there, but just enough to kind of push it out a little bit. But it was good to see Keyshawn Murphy back on the bench. Did not play, but I imagine he's fairly close to returning. It looks like he will make a return to Mississippi State at some point after missing the last few ball games. He played against South Carolina. He's missed the last 3 games. He's been MIA from the team. The sources have said he went back home to Birmingham. Looks like he's back with Mississippi State, and hopefully he is, back in action for the Bulldogs because they could really use that depth in the post. You got Jimmy Bell, you got Tolu Smith. You could really use that help there with Cam Matthews down there to really give you some nice depth with a 2 deep basically in the post. And I think he would provide a lot of really good depth there, especially offensively for Mississippi State if he really settles into that role. I know he hasn't been happy with playing time, and I totally get that, but Cam Matthews has just been too good to bring out the ballgame. He played 32 minutes today, had just 4 points but 6 rebounds in the game and 2 assists. So, wasn't his best game, but again, just super active on both ends of the basketball, and it's really tough to take him out of the game. Sean Jones, they need to get a little more from him. 1 for 6 shooting, 2 points in 16 minutes. and it looked like he was active in a lot of ways, had 1 assist, 2 steals in the game, and had a couple of rebounds. So they need a little more from some of the bench guys, but all in all, it's another win for Mississippi State. I think they moved to 2-3 on the year in SEC play. And, they have some big games coming up. You got to go on the road to Florida. You got to go on the road to Ole Miss coming up. It just doesn't get any easier for Mississippi State. You're not playing the gauntlet that you just played in the first part of the schedule when you had 4 quad 1 games all in a row there. South Carolina's continuing to win games, so that would have been a huge game for Mississippi State to take. Same with Alabama. That would have been a huge game for them. But Bama got beat by 20 today against Tennessee. It's really kind of up for grabs in SEC play, and the Bulldogs need to start stacking some wins, building a resume. This would have been a disastrous loss for them. Would have been as bad or worse than the Southern loss that they had earlier in the year, but they won the ball game, and that's what matters. So good win for the Bulldogs to get that one. Slipping over to the women real quick, the Mississippi State women's team, tough loss against Tennessee earlier this week on Thursday evening, and that was a game that was really big for the Bulldogs to try to continue to build momentum after beating Ole Miss. You had a chance to stack back-to-back wins after back-to-back losses, and would have been huge for State to get that one. They had a 13-point lead in the first half and were not able to hold it. 21-5, Tennessee outscored Mississippi State in the third quarter, and that was the game right there. The Bulldogs lost the ball game. After leading by double digits in the first half, they lose by double digits. Just a horrible loss for Mississippi State, and the fact that it was there for the taking and they couldn't get it. And the up and down nature from these two teams has really got to change. There's got to be some more consistency with Mississippi State men and women. They both have to find that consistency, find that identity for both of them, and really kind of hone in on it. For the women, the back half of the schedule is super manageable for them to start stacking wins. This is a team that I think if they get 10 wins in SEC play, they're firmly in. Same thing for the men. The women won 9 in SEC play last year. They were on the bubble. They would have won one more game. They would have been safely in. They were the last 4 team. They were in the last 4 team area. Same for the men. Both teams are really just one win away from safely being in. Both teams right now in projections are safely in. Neither one of them are on the bubble. They're both in the top 35 in net, I believe, so really no concerns there. But you do have to win ball games. That net's going to stay in that area if you're continuing to win consistently, but if you're stacking losses, it's not going to be there. Good news is both teams are in pretty good shape right now, and they're not really tailing off or anything like that. The men get a win. The women have a really big game on Monday night going to Florida. They need to take that game. I haven't looked at Florida's net, but that should be a quad 1 ball game, I imagine. So that's an opportunity to kind of build their resume after getting a big win over Ole Miss last week, and we'll see if they're able to keep that up and start winning some games there, because both of these teams can really close strong and make this another tournament run for them this year if they can have some success in the back half. But some big games coming up for both of them. They're both going to Ole Miss here shortly. I think the men go to Ole Miss next Tuesday, I believe. Not this coming Tuesday, but the next. And the women are coming up on the Ole Miss down the line as well. So really big games coming up for both teams here down the stretch. Got some great coverage over on the site. 3 stories up post-game, a story on Trey Ford. I wrote a story on Jimmy Bell, and then Paul Jones, our head basketball guy, had the game story from the game, so you can go check that stuff out. Some great stories for you. We'll have some recruit reactions from Mississippi State hosting a lot of underclassmen here on campus. Jeff Lebby had a huge crowd of coaches and support staff here with the players. I think they had a really big day with guys that were juniors and sophomores that were here on campus today. We'll have a reaction from that. Paul's going to have a ton of information on that. I'll have a story coming up on a Nanawoya player, 6'8", offensive lineman Grant Kitchens, who is starring on the Nanawoya offensive line. He was on campus today, just a sophomore going into his junior season, already 6'8", and still growing. Mississippi State gave him his first offer as a Division I school today, and I got his thoughts on that, so that's coming later. So make sure you're tuned in over there on 3. We have some great coverage of Mississippi State sports. Paul Jones, the absolute best in the business when it comes to recruiting. So I hope you guys are over there with us, because we have a great message board, great community of Mississippi State fans, and it's growing daily. We have had a tremendous outpouring of support from Mississippi State fans since we've come back together for the first time in a few months. As Paul and I made the move over there to On 3, and we're really excited about what we're building over there at Maroon and White Daily. So I hope to see you guys over there. If you haven't tried us out, come check us out. We got a $1 deal for the first month if you join, and after that it'll be $9.99 per month. But totally worth it if you're a Mississippi State fan and you're interested in being in the know and being on top of Mississippi State sports. You need to be clued in by being on 3, and just a network full of great insiders, people that really know their teams, and you have access to that across the board at On 3. So really excited what's going on at On 3. It's growing daily across the board. The network is incredible. Really blessed to be there with so many great people across the board, nationally, regionally, and across the SEC. So come check us out. I appreciate it. If you aren't already, please subscribe to this channel for more content like this, whether it be Mississippi State basketball, football recruiting. We have a Talking Dogs live chat every single Monday or Tuesday. I guess it's not every single, I guess maybe I'm lying a little bit. We try to do it every week. So we will try to get back on board probably Tuesday, since we got some action on Monday night with Mississippi State women's hoops against Florida. So I'll try to get back on there at some point this week, and we'll do a live chat there. All right, guys, appreciate y'all. Hope you have a blessed weekend. We'll catch you down the road.